Hello, I'm Warren Clay, and today on Clay Time, we're going to learn what free programs we can use to create content for our classroom. Let's get started. Alright, so here we are on our Windows 10 desktop, and the first thing we're going to do is going to go down into the link in the description of this video, and we are going to download the PDF for today's video. This is free education software for Windows 10. As we scroll down here, we see our first thing to do before you begin is you want to make sure that you have administrator access to your computer. Now, if you own your own computer, this will not be any form of issue for you. You have administrator access. But if you are using a computer that's provided to you by your school, or you're borrowing that computer from someone else, you might need to ask for an administrative password in order to get permission to install this software on your computer. If you have installed software on your computer before and you know you're good to go, then you don't have to worry about that. But if you know that this is a school computer, you're going to want to seek that out. Now, step 2 is to make sure that you are on a good internet connection. Many of these programs are going to be large, and you want to make sure that you have the best internet connection possible to download them in a timely manner. Otherwise, you can be just setting that computer waiting overnight, and it can take quite some time and be aggravating. So, the first program we're going to go to is we're going to download DaVinci Resolve. This software is what's called a non-linear video editor. That means that you can take multiple video clips and you can put them together in whatever order you want, and you don't have to do it linearly. So linear video editing is a lot like if you were to have film and you would tape that film together, and you always had to have that linear beginning to end workflow. With DaVinci Resolve, this is a full-featured software for non-linear video editing. So you can go through, move those images around, move those videos around, and do what you want to do with all of your video content to make it exactly what you want to be. Now, this software does have a Studio, which is a paid version, and a free version. The free version of this software is fully featured. You can do almost everything that the Studio version can do. There's just some nicer features that are worth paying for if you are a professional video editor. So in order to download this software, you're going to navigate to this web page. So you click on the link, it opens this up, and this is the DaVinci Resolve page. So this is the web page, and DaVinci always puts their download links at the very bottom of their pages. So you scroll all the way down, and you see DaVinci Resolve 16. This is a free software. You want to select this version. And then you are on Windows, so you will want to select your Windows edition. And now you're going to put in your information on here. You're going to get this here. Now, it doesn't need completely accurate information. You'll get that through, select your state, and then select your city. And then you just hit register and download, and this will start downloading the program. And now we will time-lapse forward. So now our software has downloaded. We double-click to open the file. Now we're going to come here. We can just double-click from here, but it is always best with these zip files to just extract the files right to the same location by default. And then we just close out there. This just makes sure that the system is not going to run into any extra issues from trying to draw from a compressed file. So you double click to open the file. Now you put in your administrator access if you have to, and you hit install, and it'll begin installing the program. So hit next to go through, accept the basic terms. Hit next and install, and then hit finish. Once it's installed there, it'll take you back onto this screen. Resolve installs a couple extra things at once, so just wait till you get this window that says it has installed successfully, then hit OK. Then you can close out these windows. Alright, so now that you have Resolve downloaded, you're going to start seeing a couple more areas. I can't show those to you here on my own computer because I already use Resolve Professional version. So we'll go in here, and the first thing you're going to see is this DaVinci Resolve 16 or 17 if you're going to later editions, so on. And you're going to want to hit this welcome tour. This is going to take you through some basic setup and just show you around. So it'll take you into here, and you're going to say quick setup so that you'll get your basic go through. Now it's going to do what's called a quick system check. So the first thing it's going to check is your operating system. If you're running Windows 10, then this isn't going to be an issue. It'll be able to just go, yes, you're running Windows 10, you're up to date, and now you're ready to start using the software. Now our second area is graphics card. Now you might not have ever had to think about this in your own computer before, as you haven't done it unless you've done something like gaming. However, the graphics card is the part of your computer that runs your screen, your monitor, does your graphics. So Resolve is going to do a quick scan and just see how powerful that is for the different types of editing that you might want to do with Resolve. So don't worry if this is a yellow mark, just as long as it does show either yellow or green here. If it shows an X that says it's not compatible and you won't be able to run Resolve, then either shoot me an email. That's oran@oranclay.com, ORAN@ORANCLAY.com. And I will help you find a different video editing software to get yourself rolling. But for the most part, even if you have some older hardware, you should be able to run Resolve and just do some basic edits. So then you hit continue, and then it's going to bring you to your project setup page. Now this is the page where you're going to be able to select what resolution you're working in. Now, you're going to be sending this over the internet to multiple kids. You don't want that file size to be too big where they can't open it, or too big where you aren't able to efficiently upload and use your time just with the size of your files. So you just want to select 1080 HD. This is the default, and then you select continue. Now the next area is project media location. Now this is going to be the place where it stores various types of files that Resolve is going to create. For now, leave this just as videos, as there's really no reason to change it. You're not going to interact with these files in any way. It's just where Resolve is going to keep its own library of data. Now our next area is to select a keyboard layout. You're going to want to leave this on DaVinci Resolve if you're following my tutorials, or if you're following any regular tutorials online. The only time you want to select one of these other types of keyboard shortcut selectors is if you are already an expert on another software, but you're going to be switching to Resolve to use for the classroom for the sake of your time management or any other reason. So unless you are already an expert and you already know video editing and you know all the shortcuts for these softwares, just leave it on Resolve and then hit continue. So now Resolve is going to open up, and Resolve by default is going to have a whole lot of extra materials on it that you're not going to use for general education content creation. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your workspace. Up in the top bar here, you're going to select workspace, show page, and you're going to deselect cut, fusion, and color. You're going to deselect these three because these are the three pages that you're not going to use for creating general content for the classroom, because you just want the software to come in, do your basic stuff very well, and then get you out. So that cut page is for making very fast and efficient cuts, but it's not very useful for beginner users because you generally don't understand how all the areas of that media production are working and how to take all those shortcuts to make this page efficient and work faster. So by deselecting that, you'll remove it from your general view. And then Fusion is for 3D nodes and rendering and creating multiple layers. This is where you're going to create something like multiple spaceships flying across the scene or really fancy title intros. And if you do want to use that, you can always come back here and reselect the Fusion page for you to use that. But for most educators, you're not going to use this page often, if ever. So deselect that for now. And then the color page. The color page does have some uses for if you have something strange in your video that you generally want to get rid of. If you want to be able to just change that tint, the white balance got off on your video, this would still be a good page. However, for most of us using this software to just put videos together, we're never going to use this page because we don't understand how color works or how all of this is going to work together inside of a video software to create editable colors. Don't worry about if you ever do need these pages again, because you can always come back into the workspace and reinitialize these pages on Resolve. But for now, we're going to disable those just to simplify our working space in the software. Now, our next area is we're going to come down to the project manager. Now, you can always also reach the project manager by hitting Shift 1 if you're really into learning those shortcuts. So you go to your project manager, hit Shift 1, and it's going to land you on Resolve's General Project Manager. So the first thing we're going to do in our project manager is we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to name it for the semester, just like we did in our video on creating a file management for all of the rest of our classroom files. We need to do the same thing in DaVinci Resolve. This is because DaVinci Resolve uses what's called a database. It's able to take different video clips and files and images from multiple places on your computer and use them on a single video file without having to import them into the software and make them part of your file. So think about this like if you've ever created a very, very big PowerPoint. If you've put multiple videos in a PowerPoint and you have lots and lots of commentary and effects, your PowerPoint file is going to get very, very large because the PowerPoint has to take in those video files and make them part of the file. So it becomes very quick where you can have a 6, 12, 14 gigabyte file inside of your PowerPoint. And that would be very, very time consuming if you were going to do that with, say, a video editing file where you're creating classroom content or any other type of video content. So Resolve bypasses that by just pulling that information from wherever you've stored it and then saving a database that tells it where that information is stored at. And it does that through your project area. So you click new folder and then you create a folder for your classes for whatever semester you're working at first. In our case, we're going to do this 2020 fall semester. If you're doing videos for at a later date, 2021 spring semester, 2022 fall semester, however that's going to work for you, you put in the year, then underscore fall or spring semester for that. Now we're going to navigate into that folder, and we're going to create a folder for each of our classes. So our classes follow the same naming convention as before. We have the year, underscore, then what the name of the class is, then underscore, and fall/spring semester, whichever one it's going to be for your year and semester. And this allows us to go through, we have trigonometry, Native American history, history of Western music 2, history of Western music 1, English grade 6, chemistry 1, American politics, and algebra 1. And then our last folder we create up here is the 2020 all students fall semester. This is where we're going to put things like video announcements, messages to all of our classes, or even assignments that are relevant to all of our classes that we want to make sure we know where to find so that they're not assigning the same video to multiple folders and making it harder for us to navigate. So now the next thing we do is we're going to come in and we're going to create a new project. So we select new project, and then we're going to name this project. So project names are going to follow the same thing as assignment names inside of our file management system. So we have the date that the assignment's either due, the assignment was started being worked on, or the assignment it was assigned on, whichever is going to work for you and whatever you're using in your other files on your computer. Then that underscore, what the name of the class is. In this case, it's English grade 6, put an underscore. Then we have what the assignment name is. In our case, this is conjunctions. Then an underscore, and then we're going to say what kind of assignment it is. In almost every case with what we're creating in Resolve, it's going to be video because we're creating a video. So we then select create, and that's going to create the assignment. So now we're going to go back up and we're going to click on that file and then the project manager, and that's going to take us right back in, and we're going to see the same view, but we're going to come right up to this section and we're going to hit this button, because this is going to take us from that icon view we had before where everything was a square, and it's going to take us to this view where we can see all of our names spread out, and we can go all the way down our list. You can select this and drag across, and it'll lengthen out the space for the name. That way you can always see your entire name. And now one last area is you see these names down here. This is where you can navigate forward and backwards. So I'm in English grade 6 fall semester. If I selected the wrong course, I don't need to close out the projects and everything. I just need to select right here, and that'll give us the fall semester for grade 6. So then you're ready to go in. You can start editing this video, or you can just close out the program and get ready for your next class. So this is how we optimize Resolve to get ready to start being used for your classroom. The next software we're going to work on is what's called Open Broadcaster Studio. So to get started with what's called OBS, Open Broadcaster Studio, we're going to open here and we're going to download the Windows version. So you click that button, it will download the software. Then you will double click and you will go through the installation process. So it'll take us through, and when you hit next, and then you'll come up to this screen and it'll have Launch OBS Studio, whatever version you're currently on. Then you'll hit finish. That'll open OBS. So then we're going to see the first time we run it, it'll like, would you like to run the auto configuration wizard? So you're going to select no. I will change this before we upload this. You're going to slide this over. We're going to select no. We would not like to run the auto configuration wizard. Then we will select OK. And now I'm going to open up mine. I'm currently using OBS here to record my screen. So OBS will allow you to do things like this video where I'm explaining how to do something for you. So we are in OBS. We are in our settings. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our output. So in our output, we're going to have right here, and we're going to change this recording quality. By default, it's set to same as stream. You're going to change that to high quality, medium file size. And then you're going to change this recording format from Matryoshka, MKV, to MOV. This is because Matryoshka will be in a very, very good file type for general recording, like what gamers are generally using OBS for. It is not very good for being editable inside of video editors, and that's what we want to be able to do with our files. So we're going to change that to MOV, which is very easily applicable into our use case so that we can edit those files readily. So then you'll come and click apply. And then our next area will be to go into the recording path, and we will want to change this to our desktop. So you click browse, and then it's going to pull up this folder here, and you'll just select desktop, then select that folder. It'll close it down, and now you will have this all set up for you. So I walks through here. You'll hit apply. That'll save it, and then you want to come in and you will want to go to your video settings. So we'll come back here and we'll select video, and now you're going to have a base or canvas resolution. You want to select this to be the highest resolution that you have. By default, it will be either 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720, depending on the resolution of your screen. But whatever the maximum resolution of your screen, whether that's 1080, 1440, 4K, you just want to select that from the drop-down menu and select it here. You see, I can't change any of these because I am currently recording, but you'll be able to click this, hit your 1440 and be through. Then same with output scaled resolution, 1440, and then you're set. Then you hit OK, and you'll come out. So we see we changed it to 1440 here. Changed it to 1440 as our output resolution, and then we selected OK. Now our next area is we're going to add our sources. So how OBS works is that you have your screen here, you have scenes. Scenes is where you can split apart different types of scenes, whether you want a scene that's for recording your own screen or you want a scene that's for recording a different screen, or even a scene for live streaming your own camera that you have attached to your computer, you can do that through scenes. And then you have sources. This is all the areas where you're pulling information in from. So you're going to click plus, and it's going to open up your long list here. This is the list of all the areas you can import different media types from. So you can do a window capture to just capture, let's say, your PowerPoint window. You can do a video capture device if you have a hardware device that can capture another monitor, or even like a game console. Then you have a VLC video source. VLC is a open source video player that can play multiple types of video, and you can use this to capture video from VLC directly. You can add text. You can add scenes inside of scenes. Have a media source if you want to play a video inside of OBS. You can do a slideshow, single images. Game capture helps you capture a game that you're using on your computer, especially if you're using multiple displays. Audio input, audio output captures. Blackmagic device. This is for using things from a company called Blackmagic that makes cameras and other forms of video equipment. Then you have your browser, color source, all different types of areas, but the one we're most concerned with right now is display capture. So you select display capture, excuse me, and then you're just going to select OK, because it'll just create the name for display capture, your default for you. And then you're going to select whatever display it is that you're using. If you have a laptop or a desktop with only one screen, then you just have to select OK. If you are having multiple screens available to you, you're going to want to select the display that you're going to work off of and that you want to capture. So then the next area we're going to come into is you're going to hit that plus button again, hit the audio input capture, and then we're going to select OK. And now you're going to select your device. Now it will default to whatever the Windows setting currently is. If you want to use something different, say you have an external audio card and you want to use that device, you can select it from the drop-down menu and use that external card and then hit OK. And then now your OBS is ready to record your desktop, whether you're going to have PowerPoints on it, or if you're going to show different writing examples, however you want to record something on your desktop, you are set to go with OBS. Now, the next area is Microsoft Office apps. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Microsoft does provide their applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint for free in the online and mobile versions. So to do this is just like using something like Google Docs or Google's Sheets. You just go to Microsoft.com and then you're going to select sign in, and you're going to sign in just like this is your Google account, but you're going to need to make your own Microsoft account. So we're on our Microsoft page and we're going to select sign in. Now, if you have a Microsoft account already, you're just going to sign in with your email, phone, or Skype even, and then hit next, select your password. If you don't have an account, then you're going to select create one, and then it'll ask you to create an account, and then go through the setup process here. But we already have an account, so I'm going to go to that account. Then you put in your password. Now you can choose to stay signed in if you don't want to sign in on this web browser over and over again. I don't want to stay signed in on this one. So now once you're signed in, it'll take you back to this Microsoft page. You want to click Microsoft 365 and then sign in, and it'll ask you to sign in again. And if you just give it your email like that, it'll usually take you right through. This is just because you can have multiple Microsoft accounts on one system, and Microsoft wants to always make sure it's showing you the right person. So once you're into here, you can select Word and go through here, and you can create new documents. and be able to use just like if you were on your desktop. Or you can go in and you can select PowerPoint and do the same thing. You can even have a OneDrive. You get a free amount of space. I believe it's 5 gigabytes that comes free with your Microsoft account. But you can also have OneNote, and you can have notebooks, and you can have a calendar. All these apps come free, including one of my favorite for education called Microsoft Sway, which allows you to create easy, simple presentations through a web browser. So for your students, it's a lot like just viewing a online website for them to be able to view multiple areas. So leave a comment below if you would like to see more information on how to use Microsoft Sway. But with that said, those are the 3 main softwares that you're going to be using to get started with creating content for your students. You have a video editor for editing all of your video content. Then you're going to have OBS for recording video content from your desktop. And then Microsoft 365 Online. This is your free version in order to create things like worksheets, Excels, PowerPoints, presentations, anything you would use to actually create content for your students in the computer-only area. So if this video helped you out, give it a like, share it with your friends, share it with your fellow educators. If you'd like to see any form of new content, leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.